Occasionally, if you're observant, you may notice something that doesn't receive the recognition it deserves. Perhaps a person, or a place, or a book. In our travels, we've discovered that overlooked things often hold the most fascinating stories, if you ask the right questions. And today, we're going to share with you something we found that falls right into this category. In the mid-sized city of Nanaimo on Vancouver Island, not too far from the hospital lies a quiet neighborhood filled with single-family homes. And within this neighborhood, you will find a peaceful park known as Bobolink. And deep within Bobolink Park, you will find this bench. You might not think that an interesting story could be told about such a seemingly mundane piece of municipal infrastructure, and neither did we. But one simple question forced us to change our assumptions. Why does no one ever sit on this bench? When we set out to document this story, we were surprised to discover that there is not much publicly available information about this bench or about the park in which it resides. Records indicate that this park was first designated as a city green space in the mid-20th century. The City of Nanaimo website mentions that the park was updated in 2008, and we suspected that this may have been when the bench was first installed. However, we noticed that the website did not mention the bench itself. It does mention a tennis court, which it is worth noting we found no evidence of during our on-site exploration. Could the answer to our question be so simple? That misinformation on the city's website has left this bench so unknown that nobody ever sits on it? Feeling a little confused, we pressed on in our research, with little doubt that this should be a perfect spot to sit and tie your shoe, eat a quick snack, or spend some time pondering where the tennis courts may have once been. In fact, in our estimation, the only better place to observe the most likely location of these historic remains is from the other bench, or from this picnic table, which is noted on the park's webpage under activities. So why does this perfectly good bench never have an occupant? It's easily just as interesting and functional as anything mentioned on the park's webpage. And, unlike the tennis courts, it actually exists. So why has it never been Instagrammed? Why is this the only YouTube video about it? In our search for answers, we realized we needed to look closer. Could it be because the paint is peeling? Or because this crack in the leg has nearly rusted through and collapse is imminent? Both of these sound like plausible options, but anecdotal evidence suggests that this bench has always been vacant, even before the wear and tear set in. Perhaps then, an answer can be found in the year it was constructed. If this bench was indeed installed in 2008 when the city updated the park, the very same year that Nanaimo was designated as the cultural capital of Canada for municipalities with populations between 50,000 and 125,000 people, you would expect that its installation would have made headlines. Unfortunately for Bobolink Park, this notable event in its history may have been overshadowed by the establishment of Mount Benson Regional Park in July of that same year. After all, it's difficult to compete with a park on a mountain that has a plane wreck. As far as our research has shown, no plane has ever crashed into Bobolink Park. But even with this plausible explanation to the bench's anonymity, we were still unsatisfied. So we decided to dig deeper. We turned to historical satellite imagery to see if any insight could be discovered. And that's when we found it. the missing tennis court. And amazingly, the bench sits right on the edge of its ruin. It turns out the city's website was lying to us about everything except the picnic table. The park was, in fact, not updated in 2008, but sometime between April 5th, 2009 and June 14th, 2010, the city plunked a playground right in the middle of the tennis court and installed this bench. Perhaps its lack of use is a silent protest from local tennis players. Maybe kids since the 2010s just don't use playgrounds anymore. Or maybe this playground was installed just in time for young families to no longer be able to afford single-family homes. Whatever the reason, we hope this documentary will help this bench to further its mission, whatever that may be, and inspire others to find the story in things often overlooked.